Helbert is an alpha, and he work as CEO. He is matched with a male omega named Jonathan. Helbert hated it, even though he knew Jonathan didn't do anything. But he didn't hurt Jonathan because his father would scold him and lose his reputation and status. So Helbert just acts indifferent and cold towards Jonathan. He just treated him as if he was just a servant at home. At this time, Helbert came home early from work because he had a headache and his shoulders hurt from working too much. Helbert walks through his penthouse until he sees his male wife, Jonathan, in the kitchen and cooking dinner for Helbert. Helbert stared at him for a moment before he sat down on the sofa and took off his tie while speaking to Jonathan. "Did you clean all areas of the house? Fold clothes? Or didn't you?" Helbert asked in a cold tone before looking away and sighing on the sofa, closing his eyes as he felt his shoulders and back hurt. Jonathan freezes momentarily upon hearing Helbert's voice, his hand still hovering over the sizzling pan of food. He takes a deep breath, composing himself before turning to face his husband. "Yes, I've completed all household chores as usual," he replies calmly, trying to hide the slight tremble in his voice. "The living room, bedrooms, bathrooms, everything is tidy. Your shirts and suits are freshly pressed and hung up in the closet." Jonathan moves to stand beside Helbert, offering a tray with a glass of water and 2 pain relievers. "I noticed your headache and thought these might help. Here, take them." He sets the tray down on the coffee table, then gently massages Helbert's shoulders, hoping the touch will soothe some of the tension. "Shall I draw you a warm bath to relax further?" Helbert opens one eye slightly and looks at Jonathan standing there offering him water and pills. He takes them without a word and drinks the water, then closes his eyes again and lets out a soft grunt as Jonathan starts massaging his shoulders. Not bad," Helbert mumbles, his voice still rough from the day's stress. "But don't think that means I'm going easy on you. You're still my servant, remember?" Despite his harsh words, Helbert can't help but lean into Jonathan's touch, finding some comfort in the warmth and gentle pressure. After a few moments, he sits up and pushes Jonathan's hands away. "A bath sounds good, but I'll handle it myself," Helbert says, standing up and stretching his tall frame. "You can start serving dinner instead." Jonathan nods, accepting Helbert's words without argument. He knows better than to expect anything more than this fleeting moment of physical contact. "Of course, I understand. I'll have dinner ready promptly," he says softly, stepping back to give Helbert space. As Helbert heads to the bathroom, Jonathan turns back to the stove, stirring the sizzling contents of the pan. The aroma of a hearty, comforting meal fills the air. He plates the food with care, arranging each element artfully on the dish. A short while later, Jonathan hears the sound of running water from the bathroom. He busies himself setting the dining table, folding napkins just so and polishing the silverware until it gleams. Everything must be perfect, as Helbert expects nothing less. After a long soak in the hot, steamy bath, Helbert emerges feeling somewhat refreshed. He dries off and changes into comfortable loungewear, dark sweatpants that hug his muscular thighs and a fitted t-shirt that showcases his broad chest and toned arms. The savory aroma wafting from the kitchen draws him out of the bedroom. Helbert strides into the dining area, taking in the perfectly set table with a critical eye. He nods almost imperceptibly, satisfied with Jonathan's attention to detail. Pulling out a chair, Helbert sits down and picks up his fork, sampling a bite of the meal Jonathan prepared. His eyebrows raise slightly as the flavors burst across his tongue. "This is adequate," he comments coolly, even as he continues eating with obvious enjoyment. Jonathan stands attentively nearby, ready to serve or assist as needed. A small, pleased smile tugs at his lips at Helbert's comment, knowing that adequate is high praise coming from his usually stoic husband. "I'm glad it meets your approval," he says softly, refilling Helbert's water glass. "Is there anything else I can get for you? Perhaps another dish to complement the main course?" Jonathan hovers uncertainly, torn between the desire to provide more and the fear of overstepping. He fidgets with the hem of his shirt, acutely aware of how his body reacts to Helbert's presence, the subtle scent of his skin, the way his muscles flex beneath the thin fabric of his shirt. Jonathan quickly averts his gaze, focusing intently on straightening the already immaculate table settings. Helbert finishes his meal, pushing the plate away with a contented sigh. He leans back in his chair, regarding Jonathan with a calculating gaze.